It's JC at Motorcycle Superstore, and we're going to talk about a brief intro to the different types of motorcycle helmets. Now, as you can see, there's several to choose from. Some common themes throughout all the helmets, no matter which type you decide to buy, is that the interior shape is going to have a different style. So typically you've got round size heads, oval heads, egg-shaped heads, reversed egg shape. There's a lot of different ones. Do a little research on the individual brand to see which is most common. The intermediate oval shape is very popular, and it's going to fit probably the widest range of riders. Also, for all these helmets, you need to take a measurement on these to find the proper size. That measurement is with a soft tape around the widest part of your head that's above the brow. You can find additional sizing information elsewhere on Motorcycle Superstore. We're going to skip over it real quick here. Now also, the safety ratings apply to all the helmets as well. So standard safety ratings that you're going to find are DOT, then you've got an ECE, which is more of a European standard, and also the Snell rating. So those have different testing methods. You can find more information about that also online. So as far as the types of helmets, these in the center, these are your open face designs. You've got half shells and 3/4. We'll start with the half shell. This is the SS400 Moto Lisa from Speed and Strength. Now, what you get with half shells is the ultimate freedom. This is very popular with cruisers. Some things to look for in this. Typically, they're DOT rated. You're going to really be concerned about the chin strap. So this one has a ratcheting mechanism. D-rings are very common, but with the half shell design, they tend to lift off the head at speed. So you really want to make sure that you have a comfortable and secure chin strap. Also, some nicer features that get built into these are things like drop-down visors. This is great. Here's a clear example. You can also get tinted. So the half shell is going to be very, very minimalist. They're typically less expensive than other styles as well, so that's a nice feature. On to the 3/4. These are a little bit more coverage. You still get that open face design. Now, one of the cool things about 3/4 is you can really delve into like the vintage retro look. This is a good example from Bell with their Custom 500. But there are more advanced modern ones as well. So there's lots of features built into these. What you need to pay attention to is the size of the opening across the front, whether or not it has a face shield, whether those face shields are interchangeable. You can see that this has a snap system, so you can apply a visor or a face shield to it. So keep that in mind. Also, start looking for things like venting. Lots of airflow to the front of the face, but you will see some models that have adjustable vents, non-adjustable vents. Those are items to consider. Now, after you step up from the 3/4, you get into the modular system. Now this is a full face helmet, but it's designed to contract and expand and open up and let you have more visibility, more exposure. So obviously the modular system, it's talking about this portion of the front chin bar that moves up and down. So the nice thing about these is that you can move that up and down to communicate at stop signs. You still have the full visor, which moves up and down. Things to consider with this type of helmet. Different visor systems or different shields. You can get tinted styles. This is a great example because it uses a pin lock shield. This is the Schuber C3 helmet. Very expensive, very top notch. Also some things to consider. The mechanism for opening and closing. Basically what type of hardware, if it's a metal style, stainless steel, these are going to be important systems. The pivot is always the weakest point in a helmet, so keep that in mind. Now, these typically have a little bit lower safety rating than full face helmets, and the reason for that is because a lot of times they just don't get tested at different levels. So the hinge, like I said, is a weak point. Doesn't mean that they're not safe. However, pay attention if you're concerned about safety ratings in particular. Really pay attention because you might notice that here. Also, this is a great example because it has a couple of different options. You can see this is a touring style helmet. It's got a drop down sun visor. Those are accessories that are nice. Also, you can see that it's got a Cardo system in it. So communication devices, touring style helmets. This is an upgrade. It's going to be something to consider depending on what style that your motorcycle is. Also, it has a ratcheting device on the chin strap. So again, lots of different features to take advantage of. The full face helmet. This is going to be a very common style, and you can find a lot of different variations, all ranging in price. Price with all these helmets equates to features typically. So the more features, the more it's going to cost. The more safety ratings, the more it's going to cost. If you're going to be on a road race track, a closed circuit track, pay attention to safety ratings because you might actually have to have certain ones available. They will tech your helmet, so it's going to be important. Otherwise, think about what your application is: street, cruiser, dual sport, whatever. Things to think about with these: venting systems. Depending on where you're riding, how you ride, adjustable vents are nice. This is an Icon airframe. You can see some of the vents up top, also the exhaust vents in the back. Moving the air across your head is nice. Inside you'll have removable liner systems and cheek pads. Some of the cheek pads can be adjusted with size, or you can order different sizes to help fit your head better. Also, interchangeable shields. So there's a lot to think about on these, but they're very common, and you can get anything that ranges from around $100 up to whatever you want to spend. So there's something for your wallet, there's something for your particular taste. This is a great example of a blend helmet. This is basically an adventure touring or a dual sport type helmet. You can see that it mimics the full face. It's got a shield that comes up and down. This is an Arai XD4. I actually have one of these myself, and it's awesome. Something else about it though, lots of venting. Because dual sport adventure can be very aggressive off-road, your body temperature goes up, very accelerated venting options on these. So also, the defining feature is this visor. It's basically a street bike helmet with a visor on it. Now, this is going to be great for those low-level situations or those low-light situations where you got to duck against the sun. This can be very handy, but also keep in mind that it helps catch wind. So if you spend the most of your time on the freeway, think about that. You might not want something like this. The full off-road helmet can actually be street legal. So if you're a dual sport guy and you want to ride it on the street, this can be a great option for that. Typically with off-road helmets, they're lighter. You have a much bigger room inside the helmet in front of your face, but you don't actually get that full closed seal, so they're going to be noisier. Keep that in mind. But if you're going to work with goggles, if you ride in an area where it's really wet, if you're a dual sport guy and you do a lot of aggressive riding, sometimes these face shields, these can fog up. So goggles are a little bit better in combating that, so you can use goggle systems here. Adjustable visors on these. Other things to look for is the vent systems. You're going to want to make sure that you have maximum venting. Off-road helmets are very good at that because typically they're for very aggressive use. Lots of different styles of helmets, open face, closed face. Do your research online at motorcyclesuperstore.com. There's something to fit your needs, I promise. And we're also going to find lots of different price options as well. So take a look over there, subscribe to us on YouTube. Thanks for watching.